Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and this video is key to English tenses. Really, this video is very important for everything, so grammar, vocabulary, speaking, listening, and so on. And you just need to understand so how these things work. Yeah, just look at it, and I think that really it's a key to English tenses. Yeah. So let's look at it. Let's look at this table. So you see that there are three times, three different times. You see a group, So it's below, simple, continuous, perfect, perfect continuous, and time. So present, past, and future. Okay. So let's look at the first group. You just need to understand that there are four groups. There are four groups in English. In English, there are four groups in English. I mean, four groups in English. We are talking about tenses, or four groups of English tenses. So the first group, as you see, we call this group simple, simple. And so you see present simple, past simple, and future simple. Okay, so you should know this group first of all. So you should know it. You should know it first of all. Okay? So we are talking about present simple, past simple, and future simple. So when do we use this group? We use this group for things which happen regularly, sometimes, so it isn't a long action. It isn't a long action. It's a short action. So it's a short action. It's very important. Okay, so you see, so we form it this way. So verb, for example, so present simple. So I want it. So verb, or we can add s if it's he, she, it. So for example, he wants it. Okay, he wants it. If you don't have a verb, you use the form of to be, am, is, or are. So if you don't have a verb or no verb, so you use the form of to be. For example, it's interesting. So you don't have a verb and you use the form of to be. It's a short form, or it can be a long form. Okay, good. So past, we are talking about this group. So simple, and the first tense is present simple. Okay, so the second tense is past simple. So it's a short action in the past. So short action in the past, you need to know the second form. For example, I wanted it. It's the second form, and this verb is regular. So you need to understand, so this verb is regular or irregular, and you need to memorize. Please memorize or remember. What should you remember? Remember irregular. Irregular verbs. So they are very important for present simple. For example, so I saw your videos. I saw your videos, and we know that we know that this verb is irregular. See, saw, seen. See, saw, seen. Okay, and so So future simple, it's very easy to form this tense. You see, will plus verb. For example, yeah, let me give you one example, yeah. So you can say, so I'll go there. I'll go there, or I will go there, or I will go there. So you know that, so will is a full form, and when we meet double L, it's a short form, so I'll go there. Okay, so you see, it's very easy. So if you are looking at the second group, yeah, so we call it continuous. Yeah, the second group, so it's for long actions. Remember, long actions. So the second group, so continuous. Continuous, it's for long actions. For long actions, so and can be long actions, so in the present, yeah, and we form it this way. For example, you can say that I'm learning English, yeah, so it's a long action, yeah, at present, it's a long action at present, I'm learning English. Or you can say it in the past, yeah, you see how we form it. So was or were, I was learning English, I was learning English, so I was learning English. And you focus on the duration, you focus on the duration, so I was learning English. Yeah, you can say past simple, yeah, I learned English, but it's a short action, it's okay. But when you say I was learning English, it means that you were learning, and so it lasted for a long time, yeah. So, and we can say it in the future, yeah. So, for example, I'll be learning English, I'll be learning English with you, I'll be learning English with you. So it's a long action, and you know, it shows importance, so it really shows that it's important for you. I'll be learning English with you, or you can say that I'll be waiting for you. You know, it's a very common example. So I'll be waiting for you. Okay, you just need to understand. So the key to English tenses is that you need to understand so the meaning of each group of these tenses, yeah. Okay, and then you need to look at the formation, how we form this tense, okay. So you see that the first group is called simple, yeah, and you need to understand that it isn't for now, so it's for things which usually happened, or will happen, or often, maybe sometimes, but not now. So it's about short actions, yeah, in contrast to the second group, continuous. It's for long actions, and again, you see, so present, past, and future, yeah. So it's very important to know it. Well, you also need to understand when we use, yeah, the other two groups, so perfect and perfect continuous. Okay, let's look, yeah, at the third group, yeah. We call this group perfect. So perfect. And again, yeah, we see, so present perfect. Okay, so there are 3 times, so present, past, and future, and perfect. Yeah, present perfect, past perfect, and future perfect. Present perfect, so past perfect, and you know, it's called future perfect, and you need to know that it's a more complicated tense, okay. It's a more complicated tense. It's a more complicated tense, or complicated, or in other words, it's a more difficult tense. It's a more difficult tense, and you mostly need to know special words, so when we use these tenses, so you mostly need to know special words, so when you need to use this tense, okay. So, and if we look at present perfect, yeah, so we call it, yeah, present perfect, and you need to know these words, yeah. So the meaning is that there is a connection with the present. There is a connection with the present. It's the most important thing, yeah. There is a connection with the present, yeah. For example, I just said it. I just said it. I've just said it. So just means not a long time ago. We see the connection with the present, and you know that we use present perfect with such words as already, so just, so ever. So we often use it with never, so yet, yeah, and for and since. So we often use, yeah, present perfect with these things, and also many times or several times, 2 times, 3 times, yeah. But the most important thing, yeah, if we are talking about present perfect, yes, is if there is a connection with the present, and so when you want to emphasize the result, when you want to emphasize the result, to say that it's really important. So I've said it or I've done it. So it means that it's really so important, yeah. So I've said it, result, yeah. Sorry, yeah, we pronounce it as result, yeah. But in fact we spell it another way, as you see. So result, yeah. So I've said it. So we can say I've said it, so to show its importance, or I've just said it. So you need to know these words, yeah. And we look at past perfect, yeah. So we also use it with such words as already. So it's a very common word for past perfect. But the idea is that this tense is one time before. For example, so yeah, we need more space, yeah. So when I came home, she had already left. So let's look at the formation of past perfect. Yes, you see had plus the third form. You see. So had plus the third form. We know this thing here, leave, left, and left is the second form, and it's also the third form. So it means that it's one time before. So first, you know, first you left, or first she left, yeah, first she left. So and only then, then you came home. Okay. So it's a very important thing. So it's one time before. And and if we look at future perfect, yeah, it's future perfect. Also, you know that if we look. So if we look at this, yeah, tense, so we also use it with special words, and just need to pay attention to the following word as by. For example, so I will have reached the next level by next month. So and this actually short word by tells us that we need to use this tense. And if you look at it, we'll have plus, yeah, not this one, so we'll have plus the third form. So we'll have, you see, we'll have, or, you know, we mostly use short forms, reached, so the next level by next month. Yeah, and if we look at this fourth group, yeah, perfect continuous. You just need to understand a very important thing. So it's like, yeah, it's like, you know, the group present perfect, or it's like the group perfect, but when there is a duration. So duration, it means that so it's a long action. And we often use it. We also often use it with special words like for. Yeah, for, it's a very common word for perfect continuous. Remember, so it's like, you know, perfect, the group perfect, so which means plus 4, and you know that for, it means, so what does it mean? It means duration, yeah, and you see how it's easier to understand. So for example, yeah, you can say I have been learning English. For 3 years. I have been learning English for 3 years. So it's like present perfect, yeah, the result is important, but you also have for, and that's why you use have been plus verb plus ing. It's what you see here, have or has been plus verb plus ing, and you see the same thing. It's about past perfect and future perfect, yeah, so it's almost the same thing, yeah. For example, so you have this example, as you remember. So when I came home, yeah, we can use the same structure. So I can say that when I came home, she had been reading that book for half an hour. She had been reading that book for half an hour. When I came home, she had been reading that book for half an hour. So you see for, and so it's one time before, like past perfect, but for. So had been plus verb plus ing, and in fact it's what you see here. It's very easy, yeah, to remember. And future perfect, yeah, will have been plus verb plus ing. So it's like future perfect plus by. For example, I will have been working on this project for 2 weeks by next month. I will have been working on this project for 2 weeks by next month. Okay, I will have been working on this project for 2 weeks by next month. It's exactly what you see here. As I told you, it's perfect plus for. Okay, you just need to understand, yeah, the meaning of each group and the formation, and we talked about it, and you can save, yeah, this slide, and it will help you a lot, I'm sure. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Hi my friends, welcome to the channel English Professionally, and this video is key to English prepositions. Really, I believe it's the most important video about English prepositions. And basically, you just need to know, yeah, some phrases with prepositions and some rules. Yeah, we're going to talk about them at the end of our presentation too. Some patterns. Okay, so at, please my friend, remember, we say at home, at work, at school, at the airport, at university. Then, so different phrases with o'clock, for example, at 5 o'clock, at 6 o'clock, at 7 o'clock, and so on. Okay, next. At night, at noon, at midnight, at midday. You know, there are other very important phrases with at, and we need to know them. The thing is that we don't have enough space here, but no problem, yeah, we have the second part because it's a full version. So the second part, so phrases with at. So we say at the weekend in British English, but on the weekend in American English. At the station, at the top, at the bottom, at the end of something, and at the beginning of something. For example, at the end of the book, at the beginning of the book. If it's without of, so we don't have of, we say in the beginning and in the end, so you need to remember it. Next, at the party, at the moment. So, and we also say at Easter, at New Year, and at Christmas. Yeah, remember, at Easter, at New Year, and at Christmas. There is one very important rule. If you add day after these holidays, you use on. Like here, look. So we say on Christmas Day, because you see day, but at Christmas. On New Year's Day, but at New Year. So, at Easter, but on Easter Day, because of this day. It's a rule, it's English grammar, and you need to remember it, okay? Yeah, I hope that's clear. Okay, let's talk about in. So, we say in the morning, in the evening, in the afternoon. Then we use in with years. For example, in 1978, in 1999, so in 2015, and so on, so with years. We also use in with months, so in March, in February, in December, in April, in July, and so on. We also use in with seasons. Students often ask me, how should we say in spring or in the spring? And the answer is very simple. It's correct to say in the spring and in spring. It's also correct. So I mostly meet without that. So in spring, in summer, in autumn, in winter, but in there, yeah, with seasons is also possible. Okay, so next, phrases like this one. In the 1980s, so in the 1970s, in the 1990s, and so on. Good. What about on? So we use on with days of the week or with weekdays. For example, on Mondays, yeah, on Tuesdays, on Wednesdays, on Thursdays, on Fridays, on Saturdays, on Sundays. So we say on the weekend in American English. You know that we talked about it. So we say so at the weekend in British English and on the weekend in American English. So that's the main difference. All right. So we also say on, we also use on with, for example, on Monday morning, on Tuesday morning, on Wednesday morning, and so on. And that's also true about evening. So on Wednesday evening, on Thursday evening, on Friday evening, on Saturday evening. So you need to have this combination. So day of the week and morning or evening. So next, on my birthday. Yeah, and so we don't need on here, and we also actually don't need on here, but that's clear, yeah? So on my birthday. Say on my birthday. Why on? Because of the day. On my birthday. On holiday. So it's the same story like day, yeah? On holiday. So you know that we say holiday in British English and we mostly meet on vacation in American English. So that's the difference between British English and American English. Okay, so we mostly meet on time. So we mostly meet this preposition with time. Yeah. So what about Christmas Day and New Year's Day? So you see it with on because of the day. On Christmas Day, on New Year's Day, like here on Easter Day. But if you don't have day, so you need to say at Easter, at New Year, at Christmas. Good, very good. Then we use on with dates. For example, you see on the 11th of May. How do we pronounce it? How do we pronounce it really? On the 11th of May, on the 12th of May, on the 13th of May, on the 14th of May, and so on. So many students mispronounce it. So yeah, so if you try to pronounce everything correctly, so for example, I can say that I was born on the 26th of April. So don't forget to use of on the 26th of April. And really, when were you born? You can write, I was born on the 1st of December. I was born on the 2nd of February. I was born on the 3rd of March. I was born on the 11th of, of July. I was born on the 25th of August, and so on. Okay, good, very good. But we also need to look at the second part. Yeah, we forgot to do it with in, so let's do it with in and on, and we'll have a look at by and for after that. So in, let's continue. So we say in a minute or in a second. For example, I'll be back in a minute. I'll be back in a second. Or you can also say I'll be back in 2 minutes, in 10 minutes, in 15 minutes. It's also okay. Okay, so We also say in an hour, in 2 hours, in 3 hours, so talking about the future. For example, she'll be back in 2 hours. Okay, next, in 2 days, in 3 days, so good. So you can also hear, so in 5 months, in 2 years. Yeah, so what will be in 2 years, no one knows, for example. Okay, other phrases with in bed, in hospital, in prison, in the street, in the middle. So in the picture, it's a very important phrase. For example, when you want to describe a certain picture or a photo, so more students use this phrase incorrectly. Remember, in the picture, in the photo. For example, what do you see in the photo? What do you see in the picture? Only in. Then, in the beginning and in the end, but at the end of something, at the beginning of something, in the library. Yeah, and some more phrases with on. So on the bus, on the plane, on the ship, on the boat, on the train, on the phone, on TV, or on television, so but we mostly hear on TV, it's a short form, on the radio, on New Year's Eve, on Easter Day, on the right, on the left, on foot. These phrases are very important. So often, students often actually misunderstand this phrase on foot. So how do you usually get to work? So, you need to say, for example, on foot, on foot. It means that you walk to work, so with your legs. Okay, right. So what about by? So we say by car. So when we travel somewhere, we say, for example, how do you prefer to travel? By car. So the fundamental difference is that after by, you don't use a preposition, and you say by car, by train, by ship, by plane, by sea, by air, by land. But of course, if you are going to use, an article, if you're going to use an article, it's another preposition. For example, in a car, so on the train, on the ship, on the plane, so I can swim in the sea, and so on. I mean that, so if you don't have an article, here use by. So if you have an article, like here, so you say on the bus, on the plane, on the ship, on the boat, on the train, but in a car. In a car, you need to remember, in a car. In a car. If it's without a, so you say by car. So by underground, so you know that we also use by with passive voice. For example, by him, by her, the book was written by him. It means that he wrote the book. The book was written by him. By tomorrow, so talking about deadline, talking about your deadline, for example. So when do you need to finish it? By tomorrow. It means that, so not later than tomorrow, not later than tomorrow. So today is the last day, by tomorrow. Or, for example, let's continue, by next week, by next month, by next year. For example, I need to reach a strong advanced level in English, or a strong advanced English level by next month, by next year. Okay, and we also have very useful phrases with for a walk. So you can go for a walk, do like going for a walk, for a change. For example, we need maybe to record, a video lesson about articles, for a change. So if you want to change something for an hour, so I can't say that I've been recording this lesson for an hour, it's much shorter. For 2 days, so he was away, for example, for 2 days, for 3 weeks, for 2 months, for 5 years. So I have been learning English for 5 years. You know that we often use for with present perfect continuous. Okay, and I think maybe you don't actually see it well, no problem. So I'll make it smaller for you. So yeah, by underground, by him here, by tomorrow. And for breakfast, so for lunch, for breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. For breakfast, for lunch, and for dinner. So for example, what did you have for breakfast? What do you usually have for dinner? What do you usually have for lunch? And so on. And sometimes you also meet supper. So dinner and supper. All right. So it's a very important thing. So basically, you need to know, yeah, these actually most important cases. So when we use prepositions, but that's not all. There is one more very important and maybe the most important thing. Really, I don't understand why other people don't talk about it. So my aim is to help you, understand how to learn English. So really, the first step is that you need to know just these basic phrases, and you need to understand, for example, that in means inside, on, just on the surface, for example, by, so we often use with passive voice, and other cases is the first step. But there are other steps, my friends, too. You also need actually to know about 5 more steps if you really want to be successful in learning prepositions, or if you really want to succeed so in learning English prepositions and using them effectively in your English conversation. So you need to know different prepositional phrases. You need to know them, you need to memorize them by heart and start with most common ones. For example, at once means immediately, in doubt means I'm not sure, on the whole, in general, by mistake, so it happened accidentally or it wasn't going to happen, for a walk. Yeah, we talked about it, so you can say walk or go for a walk. So you need to pay attention to these prepositional phrases. Secondly, you need to pay attention to prepositions with adjectives. For example, good at. I'm good at English. Interested in. I'm interested in foreign languages. Keen on. I'm keen on music. Then, surprised by or at, you know that we can use surprised with by or at. So, I'm really surprised by your ability to record, so many lessons of supreme quality. Supreme, it means very, very high quality. Verb, so prepositions with verbs, like smile at, so she smiled at me. Succeed in, so I succeeded in learning English in a couple of years. So insist on, I insisted on it. So I told someone to do it and it happened. Abide by. For example, we need to abide by the rules. We need to abide by the rules. We need to follow the rules. Like wait for me. Then nouns plus prepositions. Like look at, it can be a verb, or it can be a noun. So let's have a look at the previous slides. Let's have a look at it. Interest in. So your interest in, so in this thing is difficult to explain. Attack on. So there was a sudden attack on those troops, yeah. So reason for, so what's the reason for doing it? Reason for, like, and the most important thing, so not maybe the most, but one of the most important thing about phrasal verbs, it's about phrasal verbs. So really, there are lots of verbs with prepositions and we call them phrasal verbs. And they have these verbs a special meaning and you also need to know them. Like get at can mean suggest. What are you getting at? What are you suggesting? Take in, like deceive. He was taken in, he was deceived. It means that he got into trouble. Put on, so he put on warm clothes, so he had them on his body. Go by, so time goes by. It means time passes. Look for, what are you looking for? What are you trying to find? So to sum up, my friend, please also pay attention to prepositional phrases and prepositions with different parts of speech, so such as adjectives, verbs, nouns, and my friend, don't forget about phrasal verbs too. It's also a very important part of English grammar. So really it's the key to English prepositions. So you need to understand these things, what you need to learn. My aim is to help you understand what's going on in reality. So not only these phrases with time, prepositions of time, place, not only this, but these things too. Yeah? And actually, it doesn't lie on the surface, but it's actually of great importance, and this fact is undeniable. We can't deny this fact. Thank you very much, my friends, and I wish you good luck. See you. Bye-bye. Hi, my friends. Welcome to the channel English Professionally, and this English lesson is mostly for intermediate and advanced students. So it's about this structure, have done with modal verbs. Okay, very good. So let's have a look at this table and let's try to understand when we need to say should have done, could have done, would have done, may have done, might have done, and must have done. So really these things aren't for beginners. Anyway, okay, let's look at the first modal verb, should. So how do we use this modal verb? Yeah, talking about the past, present, and future. Okay, let's start with present simple. Okay, for example, I can say I should call him. I should call him now, and it's about the present. If I want to say something about the future using this modal verb, it's also easy. So I say should plus verb. So I should, for example, I should visit him tomorrow. I should visit him tomorrow. So my friend, you see, it's about tomorrow, but it doesn't matter. So we say should plus verb. So I should visit him tomorrow. Okay, if you want to talk about the past, you need to use this structure, should have plus the third form. Look. So if it's about the past, for example, if it's about yesterday, so I need to say I should have, right, should have plus the third form. I should have called him, for example, yesterday. I should have called him yesterday. Or I should have visited him, for example, last week. So should have called, should have visited, it's about the past. Only this way, my friend, is correct. Okay, let's talk about could. Yeah, about could. So we can use it talking about the present, so could do. For example, you could tell me it now. You could tell me it now. It means that it's a good idea. So it's a good idea. So it's possible for you to do it. So it's about now. Yeah. So it can be about the future. So you could tell me it not only now, but you could tell me it tomorrow. So it's also okay. It's also okay, yeah, to say it. So you could tell me it tomorrow. So we use this modal verb for the present and for the future. So if you're talking about the past, you can use could do, so could plus verb, or could have done. Could have plus the third form. So if it's about our ability, for example, I could work all day. I could work all day. So if I say so, it's the past form of could. It means that it was possible for me. It was possible for me. It was possible for me, and so I did it. It was possible for me. So there is another structure, could have done. It's about an imaginary situation. For example, I could have passed. I could have passed the test. So you see, it's about an imaginary situation, so we imagine it. In fact, I didn't, so I didn't pass it. Or in other words, I failed it. I failed it. So we use this structure for something, yeah, which happened and we regret about it. So we'll feel sorry, or we feel pity, so but maybe we want to change this situation. So I hope you understand it. So let's revise it shortly. I should call him now. I should visit him tomorrow. I should have called him yesterday. I should have visited him last week. You could tell me it now or tomorrow. It's a good idea. So we use could in the past if it's about our ability. So I could work all day. It was possible. So we use can in the present and could in the past. It was possible for me. And if it's about an imaginary situation, we use could have done. Look, I could have passed the test. So in fact, I didn't pass it, but it was possible. I could have done it. Next, would do, and would do for the present and for the future. For example, I would do it. I would do it now. Or it's also possible talking about the future. I would do it later. It's okay. It's like I could. It's like I could. So I could do it now. I could do it later. So it means that I think I need to do it now. I think I need to do it later. It's like I need to. I need to do it. I need to do it. I think it's good. I think it's good to do it. To do it. So now, later, and so on. So if it's about the past, we need to say would have done. Would have done. For example, I would. So, you know, I would have, for example, if I were you, I could say I would have watched more videos. I would have watched more videos yesterday. Yesterday. I would have watched more videos. I would have watched more videos. So it's my recommendation. It's my recommendation for you. It's my recommendation for you. So we often use this structure with conditionals. Conditionals. So if I were you, for example, if I were you, yeah, right. So we normally say I was, but if it's about conditionals, we say I were you, if I were you. So you need to remember the structure. If I were you, I would do it. So it means that it's a good idea for you to do it. So it's about the present, right? It's about the present and we call it, so the second. We call it the second conditional. So if it's about the past, if I were you, I would have done it. So I would have done it yesterday. It's also possible. It's also possible. If I were you, I would have done it yesterday. So you see, it's conditional free. Conditional free. Or it's a mixed conditional. So if I were you, or if I had been in that place, I would have done it yesterday. So we use it giving some recommendations. I'm talking about this structure. So it means I need to do it. I think it's good to do it. So I would do it. Now I would do it later. I would have watched more videos yesterday. So it's my recommendation for you. Okay? So conditionals. If I were you, I would do it. So it's about the present. So it's the second conditional. And if I were you, I would have done it yesterday. So it's about the past. So we see that this part is about the third conditional. Right, my friends. So very good. So amazing. Okay, so we have more structures with may and might. So these structures are very common, especially among native speakers. So I can say, for example, I may watch this movie now. I may watch this movie now. It's okay. Or I can also use the structure talking about the past. I may watch this movie so next week. So it isn't urgent, so it can wait, and so I can do it next week. So you can use may or might. So it means that maybe. So in other words, it means maybe. So maybe I'll watch. Maybe I'll watch this movie. Maybe I'll watch this movie. So now or next week. But you know that maybe isn't a modal verb, and we use future simple after it, right? But may and might are modal verbs, so it's another structure. Okay, my friend, and the most difficult thing is, the following. If we look at the past tense, so if it's about the past, it's only this way. May, might, have plus done plus the third form. For example, so I don't know what you did yesterday, and I think that you may have gone for a walk. You may have gone for a walk with your dog. With your dog, okay? So I'm not sure at all. So maybe you don't have a dog. So maybe you don't have a dog, just my idea. So you may have gone for a walk with your dog. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that you have a dog, and so I'm not sure that actually you went for a walk with your dog. And I can say, so you may have gone for a walk with your dog, or you might have gone. You might have gone for a walk with your dog. Okay? So, right, must. So it's more difficult. So we use must for the present. Like I must improve my grammar. Yeah, what a good idea. I must improve my grammar. So excellent. So it's about the present. Talking about the future, right? So I can say I must improve my grammar. So now, or I must have improved my grammar later, no problem. Anyway, when we talk about the future, we often use another structure. So we'll have to. So you know that we can say I must improve my grammar, or I have to improve my grammar. So if you say I must, it's my decision. If you say I have to, you need to do it because of some things, because of some people, or for some reasons. So must or have to. So we say must without to. Talking about the future, we can say, so I must improve my grammar now, later, or we often see we'll have to. For example, I will have to work really hard to earn much more money. I will have to work really hard to earn much more money. Yeah. For example, yeah, you can think so. Look, I will have to work. So it means that you'll need to work really hard to earn much more money or to get much more money, if you really want to get more money. Okay, let's revise it. So you see, I may or I might watch this movie now next week. Maybe I'll watch this movie now next week. You may have gone for a walk with your dog. So I must improve my grammar. I have to improve my grammar. Now or later. So it depends on our plans and our abilities, possibilities, and so on, yeah, and other factors. I will have to work really hard to earn much more money. Right, but I have another question for you. So how will you say must in the past? And if you look at our table, yeah, it's had to. For example, you can say I had to study very hard, to reach this level, okay? I had to study very hard to reach this level. So you see, it's possible. So it doesn't matter must or have to, we say had to. But sometimes, yeah? So I hope that you understand that there is a mistake here and we'll correct it. Not must have to. Okay? Just try to find a mistake. Okay? You have some time and I'll correct it soon. Okay, and I really hope that you can see it much better now. So you see it's will have to, must, and will have to. And so I don't know really how it happens. So when I was thinking about must, I was also thinking about have to, and so that's why it was here. But of course I meant another thing. So must have done, like here. Have done. It's what we wrote here. It's exactly what we left here, or what we wrote here. So must have done. So what's the difference? So we say had to and must have done. Right, so look. Let's look at this example again. So you may have gone for a walk. But, okay, I have a friend, and I know that my friend has a dog. Okay? So my friend has a dog. I know that he goes for a walk with his dog every day. I know he goes for a walk with his dog every day. So I know this thing. So in this case, I can say another thing, right? In this case, I can say another thing. What will it be? It will be, so not he, but not you, but he must have gone. He must have gone for a walk with his dog. Yeah? So it means I'm sure, I'm almost sure, I'm almost sure he must have gone for a walk with his dog. So it's another meaning. And you know, my friend, it doesn't matter he, she, it. So we use have after modal verbs. So must have gone, may have gone, might have gone. It doesn't matter that we have here. Really, it doesn't matter. It has another meaning. So I'm almost sure that he must have gone for a walk with his dog. Okay, my friend. So, okay, I'll try to make up one more sentence. So, you must have eaten something really tasty yesterday. Or you must have eaten, right? Please correct me if I'm mistaken. So, you must have eaten something really tasty. Something really tasty yesterday. Right? I don't know why I wrote it here. I know that people like eating tasty things, and so I am almost sure that you must have eaten something really tasty yesterday. But of course, I can be mistaken. And if I feel that I'm mistaken, if I think that maybe the chances are very low that it really happened, so I can say, okay, you might have eaten or you may have eaten. So it depends on the context, my friends. Okay, so you see, I had to study very hard to reach this level. You may have gone for a walk with your dog, or you might have gone for a walk with your dog. Yeah, my friend has a dog. I know he goes for a walk with his dog every day, so he must have gone for a walk with his dog. I'm almost sure. So you must have eaten something really tasty yesterday. Okay, my friends, thank you, for this amazing experience. I'm really grateful to you for everything. I really appreciate, I highly appreciate, my friends. And so I'll be brief. This lesson isn't for beginners, and this information is mostly for the following levels. So strong intermediate level, upper intermediate, and advanced level. So I hope you really enjoy learning English. And I also believe that it's very important not to waste time. So you know that our life is very short to waste time. And I wish you fantastic and splendid days. Thank you, my friends. Good luck. Bye.